Welcome to GForce training videos. This is the latest virtual reality 3D motion capture training. I'm using Gears Golf, which is the best motion capture system on the planet for the golf swing, but also for measuring golf clubs as well. So I've got the GForce shaft hooked up on the system. I've got myself, and then we're ready to start the training. So we're going with the GForce 7 iron to begin with. Now, before we start, the most important thing is to have 3 degrees of motion. Now, what I mean by that is your wrists, your elbow, your shoulder joints, your kneecaps, everything needs to be completely free. On this motion capture system, I've got reflective markers on each of my joints. So my wrist joint, elbow, shoulder, hip joint, kneecap, ankles, toes. Okay, so we've got to keep everything completely free because there can be a little bit of magic that's going to happen in your golf swing if you allow yourself to be completely free and loose. So you want to shake up before you actually take a golf swing and get rid of any tension, because the more free we are with our body, the better the kinetic chain. So it's important to have the 3 degrees of motion so we can have the perfect kinetic chain. The kinetic chain is basically the transfer of energy from the ground through your body to the golf club. So the more free you are on your joints and everything, the better the transfer of energy. Okay, so first thing we need to do is just take the golf club in your right hand and just swing right hand only. Now you can see at some point down towards opposite my belt buckle, you can see how the grip end of the club pivots and the head releases. So you can see it swinging forward. That's what we need to do in the golf swing. Now, if I just do the same with my left hand, get the same motion, you can see that pivot action. You can see how the grip end of the club just pivots there, and the club head swings forward, it releases. That's what we call a release. I can feel the weight of the club head. What I'm not doing is I'm not pushing. I'm not trying to lean. Okay, I'm just letting the weight of the club head swing and release. Same in the right hand. Okay, you can see as I go back, you can see the momentum from the swing, the momentum of the club head, the weight of it is actually hinging my wrists naturally because I'm not locking that wrist out. I'm just letting it go, letting it be nice and free. Okay, now if I get both hands on the golf club, just feel the same motion. Okay, as I take the club away, I'm trying to feel the hands of the club, the grip end of the club on my hands are actually moving away first. So the head of the club is lagging behind the hands, as you can see there. Okay, because then if I stop, the momentum of the club then cocks my wrist for me. You can see that happening there, that's what we want. This is nice and free, nice and loose. So on the takeaway, drag the handle of the golf club, and then the club head will follow it. It's going to be lagging behind your hands. You can see it just swinging back and forth. When we change direction, the opposite. The hands will be leading the club head coming through, and then the head will swing forward. So we've got a nice free swinging motion going on here, which is what we want. Totally relaxed. Every muscle, every joint, completely free at the moment. So the first thing you want to do with the GForce swing trainer 7 iron, pop the ball on a tee and just go through what I've talked about there. Get that feeling of keeping everything nice and free. Feel the club head swinging. And what we're trying to do is make sure that we're not bending the shaft too much. So all we're trying to do is make smooth changes in direction. And then you can see the shaft isn't doing a lot. You know, it's not flexing around. I'm not jerking around with my body. I'm just trying to keep everything nice and smooth, nice and free. Then when I go to the ball, it's going to hit some little half, 3/4 shots to begin with that nice free swinging motion. So I'm not putting any stress on the shaft. I'm not jerking around, yanking it, heaving my body. I'm just swinging the weight of the club head, letting everything follow that motion back and through. So it's nice and smooth. You can see that I'm not rushing it back on the takeaway. I'm not rushing it through in transition, but I'm just making smooth changes in direction, back and through. Okay, then I'm going to go a little bit further back. Again, focus on the shaft, not trying to put too much flex in it, keep it smooth. And then whip it through. You know, you can hear how solid that strike is. You can see how free my body movements are, everything's totally relaxed. So I feel like I'm moving the grip end of the club first, keeping all my joints relaxed so they can just do what they want to do. And then whip it through. So I'm not trying to physically lock any body parts out or trying to get into a particular position, just trying to free everything up. And then with the GForce swing trainer, just trying to keep the shaft rigid. That's the best thought to have, because if you're yanking it back or down, you're not going to keep the shaft rigid. You know, it's going to be flexing and bending all over the place. So just get a feeling of swinging the club nice and smooth and just stay completely relaxed. And then you can really whip that golf club through and get lots of club head speed, which is what you want without the effort. So what that's going to do, making these smooth changes in direction, straight away it's improving your rhythm and your tempo. So there's no yanking around, we're just getting everything swinging nice and smooth. My body responds to the swinging of my arms, as you can see here. Not locking anything out, everything's nice and free. So once you've got a feeling of a nice rhythm and tempo, which is what this club is great for, just hit a couple of shots and just feel that smoothness, because rhythm and tempo is really the first thing you want to work on with this golf club. You know, get that nice smooth change in direction, back and through. You know, you see all the tour players doing that. They're not rushing, they look totally relaxed, they look like they're putting very little effort in. And that's what you want to do. And this shaft's really going to help you do that, because if you start yanking the club around, you're going to feel it straight away. You're going to feel off balance. You're not going to strike it very well. You're not going to hit it very far. You're going to feel like you're putting a lot of effort in and getting nothing out of it. So that's the first thing you want to develop. Get all the 3 degrees of motion. Shake up a little bit before you swing the golf club. Drag the grip end of the club back first so the club head lags behind the hands. Let the momentum of the club head cock your wrist to the top of the swing. When you get to the top of the swing, you've got to keep these wrists relaxed. Look at Hogan at the top of his swing. It sort of looked like his wrists collapsed at the top there. And that's really important. You don't want to be locking your wrist out at the top. Keep it nice and relaxed. And then from the top of your swing, as your wrists are cocking, the shaft's loading up a little bit. You'll feel that in the GForce shaft. When it loads up fully and your wrists are fully cocked, the first move down is pull the arms and club down. Pull the grip end of the club. Pull the chain. That's the move.